Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Dynamics 365 Tech Talk. Today's topic is What's New in Dynamics 365 Commerce? 2022 Release Wave 2. My name is Cora, and I'll be your moderator today. We are broadcasting this session through Teams live events, and the audio can be heard through your device speakers. This session is being recorded on behalf of the Microsoft Corporation. When you join this event, your name, email address, and/or phone number may be viewable by other session participants in the attendee list. By joining, you're agreeing to this experience. The recording will be available on the Tech Talks Community Dynamics page within the coming weeks. If you have questions for the presenters or need support, please use the Q&A panel located on the right side of your screen. Our presenters will be responding to your questions throughout today's session. Thank you for your patience during these announcements. Kicking us off today from Microsoft, we have Meenu Laul, Senior Solution Architect. Meenu, over to you.
Thank you, Cora. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you guys are joining us from. We are excited to present today Tech Talk on topic, What's New in Dynamics 365 Commerce 2022 Release Wave 2. I'm joined with Praveen, Febin, and Jorge. Without further ado, let's get started. So now let's just check our agenda for today. We'll try to cover most of the topic which we are releasing in 2022 Wave 2. We'll start by Google Pay with Adyen feature to make payments quicker for any customer with just one click. And then we'll talk about most awaiting feature, which is a chat in e-commerce. And then we'll switch gear and discuss about two new features added in B2B commerce, sales agreement or contract-based pricing, and customer and partner catalog. After that, we'll showcase some of the new feature which was added in POS and e-commerce regarding Cloud Power's customer search for searching customer quickly in a high volume customer data. And another how we can edit a customer information asynchronously. And then we'll show some improvement we made in POS related to login. That way you can easily tell which configuration is missing in POS by clicking that button in HQ. And then we'll talk about how we can help with you with the holiday readiness by giving you some recommendation related to archiving credit card transaction and the payment tokens. At the end, we'll cover some exciting feature that just went GA, Store Commerce app for Android, just in time for holidays for line busting. Let's just talk about what is Google Pay with Adyen. So Dynamics 365 Commerce offers an out-of-box integration for Google Pay when Adyen Payment Gateway service is used. It uses Google Merchant account in coordination with Adyen Payment Service. Google Pay can be used both in POS and online channel, but not at the call center for obvious reasons. For POS device, it could be configured with Adyen Payment Terminal and Commerce POS for in-store use. Hardware profiles will supply the connector information to a retail store for it to use. For a customer paying with Google Pay with their phone tapping at the terminal, the Adyen connector configuration will be used to map to a card ID. Google Pay uses the attached payment card the customer has configured in HQ. Returns from the gateway may return as a direct credit card processor payment methods. Example, if you set it up as a MasterCard or Visa or whatever you have set it up in the backend as a processor payment, return can be done on that. The payment issuer gateway, not Microsoft, control how the processor payment codes are written. The payment processor mapping will control which card ID Dynamics assign the return value to. That is how you set up at the POS. Now, we'll showcase you a demo in the next slide, how you can set up Google Pay for online channel, where Google Pay can be set up as an express payment or a checkout method. Now let's just check the demo. The first step we would suggest you guys do is go to feature management and make sure that you have enabled the feature called enhanced valet support and payment improvement feature. And once this one is specifically used for the one where you don't want to map the PIN ranges, like where you want to use a valet payment like PayPal or Google Pay and all. And then you're going to run a job called 1100 to make changes in all channel before you see it further. The next one is you're going to go to your channel setup. You'll go to your payment types and you're going to add a new type called a Google Pay. That ID is important because it's going to be used in your e-commerce channel and it's going to be a valet payments. And then you'll go to processor payment mapping. You're going to select all the different connector or a cards which you're going to allow them to use as a Google Pay. Like in my case, I choose Amex, Discover, and Visa card or MasterCard. Then after that, I'll go to my online channel. So in my scenario, I'm using a Fabricam online store. You can use any you want. So I'll go to that Fabricam extended online store. And then I'll go to my payment account. The first thing to make sure is the first method is Adyen. That's a setup required by Adyen. So the first payment method needs to be a payment connector for Adyen. The next you can add Google Pay or whatever you want. In our scenario, we are using Google Pay. And these are the settings you need to do. You have to put merchant account as Microsoft Dynamics, and you'll use a supported tender type as a Google Pay. Then we'll go to payment method. We're going to be adding a card type, which we just created. So we're going to go ahead and add the 13 Google Pay as a valet payment. We'll add the operation name as a pay card, and we'll add our connector as a payment connector for a Google Pay. And then we'll go to electronic payment types. We'll add ID as a Google Pay. Again, ID will match to our site builder. So we'll add that and we'll save it. After you do that, you're going to run a job for channel so that the changes get moved from HQ to your CSU. So we're going to go ahead and run a job. We'll go to 1070 job. We're just going to showcase you. So we're going to run 1070 channel configuration job. After it's finished and applied, we're going to go back to our site builder. After we go to site builder, the first thing we'll do is content security policy. We'll go ahead and add all in different tabs. We're going to add a .google.com. This setup is available in our doc site. You can go refer which all needs to be added. So the next step is after you do that, you're going to do save and publish. Then we'll go ahead and add a fragment. So we'll add a fragment called a express checkout. You can name it as a Google Pay Express checkout, however setup you want to do. And then we go ahead and add a default container. Within a default container, the CSS name is important. That has to be exact. You can extend that CSS class, but this is the base that you would be using. And then after you make sure about that, you're going to add a payment express module inside the container. And the supported type needs to be a Google Pay because we are using it as a Google Pay. After I do that, we're going to go ahead and save the changes and publish it. And the next step is we're going to go ahead and want to add a Google Pay in the checkout page. So we'll go ahead and add that. We'll go to our main slot and add a container there. What we want to showcase you guys that if you don't see 3 dots in front of main slot, you want to go to templates and make sure that your new container is added in the template before you go back and change in the main slot. So that's what we're showcasing here. We added a new container. After you added a new container, you can go back to your checkout page. And then you can go back and add it there. That's what we are doing again. We're going to go to our main slot, add the container. Within the container, I'll add the same fragment, which we just created in the last one. So we'll go ahead and add this express payment fragment there. And after you finish that, you'll go ahead and finish your editing and publish those changes. Once we do that, we're going to go back to our e-commerce site to show you how it's going to look like once you go ahead and pay it. So here in our example, we are going to buy a shoe. We'll go to shoes. We'll choose the right one, which we want to go and buy. So we'll go choose this one, high top leather one. We'll choose the size. We'll add to a bag. And then we'll go to our bag. And if you look at it, there is going to be a buy with Google Pay, which is a one click to make your customer experience quicker. We'll click on that. I did get ID and password because I've already put in there. But again, You might have to put ID and password there. And then after you do that, you still have an option to change your shipping address as needed. I'm going to keep it same, but those are available even though we are doing a Google Pay. So I'm going to put my contact information, where do I want the order information to go. So I'll put my correct email address there. And if you notice, I'll click Save and Continue. My payment method is Google Pay. That's how it's going to even show in the headquarter. I'm placing an order here. My order has been placed. Now I want to go back and look at an HQ and make sure in headquarters my order has been created. So I'll go back here, click on All Sales Orders. And that's the order which I just created. The thing I want to show is how it's going to look like the payment perspective. So I'm going to click on payments, and I would see that Google Pay, it's going to show as a payment method as a Google Pay. It's authorized because I haven't been invoiced. Once you invoice, it's going to change status to paid. That showcase how you can set up your Google Pay in your e-commerce channel. Let's just talk about roadmap for payment feature. So in the roadmap, as of now, we are actively working on Apple Pay with Adyen, similar to a Google Pay. Another thing we are working on is an asynchronous payment architecture. So what is asynchronous payment architecture, right? So asynchronous payment architecture is a very common requirement among retailers. It helps you. It offers the shoppers the ability to pay with pay later options, pay over time, pay by link, cash on delivery, all kind of these options which most of the retailer are looking. It's facilitate that options. And one of the one which we are working actively is a Klarna. Other will come in later, but as of now, we are working on that. And that would be the first one to be released. Now let's just talk about chat in commerce with omnichannel for customer service. So as you know, in today's world, chat has emerged as a primary channels for a customer to interact with the support agents. Because of its simplicity of use and easy to use, people can simply click on chat and ask their question and get help quickly, right? And even for a customer service agent, they prefer a customer to connect via chat, which allows them to engage with multiple customers simultaneously. So with this new features, live agents can get user information like order information, preferred method of shipping, without even switching between a different applications. So let's look at it. What are all the capabilities it provides with this chat features within F&O or commerce? So here are some of the capabilities it has. It supports both OCCS, which is a customer service, and PVA, which lets you create a powerful AI-powered chatbot for a range of requests, like helping with the simple questions or helping with asking, oh, I'm looking for this, how could you help? So all those could be done with the help of algorithms. And with OCCS, it provides a customer service agent out of the box that they can utilize both live and a virtual agent experience. And where they're using the virtual agent experience or a live, you can look at the orders, as I said, simultaneously, and look at it provides you a 360-degree view of a customer information so that you can look at it, what orders they have ordered before, as mentioned, what's their order history, what they're interested in, and what kind of a card they would prefer, and all those kind of information is very handy with the customer representative, and they can look at it and help it. To showcase that how it all worked together, let's just look at the demo.
Corinne, a loyal customer to AdventureWorks, wants to make a change to an order that she recently placed. She uses customer chart feature on AdventureWorks website. As she interacts with the chart feature, she finds that a virtual agent, basically a chatbot by Power Virtual Agents that is configured in omnichannel customer service, is helping her to begin with. Now she wants to talk to a live agent. A live agent from AdventureWorks gets notified on omnichannel customer service. In live agent's experience view, agent already has a full context of Corinne's chart and our customer profile data from Dynamics 365 Commerce that is embedded within the omnichannel customer service agent's desktop experience. This allows live agents to help Corinne without needing to switch the applications. Live Agent finds out what Karen wants and makes corresponding changes to her order. Let's take a close look at Omnichannel Customer Service Setup, which provides Live Agent's capabilities natively. In the work stream, you see the routing queue that has routing rules based on agents and their skills. In the sessions, you configure agent experience. In this scenario, I'm adding extra application tab that shows the F&O headquarters in an iframe. By default, it points to the commerce customer info form. Work streams in omnichannel customer service can be integrated with chatbot by Power Virtual Agents seamlessly. As you see, we have some topics. Those are created with a flow of questions, options, and corresponding responses. Through Agents Transfers feature, you can connect the customer with a live agent. Once the work stream is configured, by copying the code snippet, take the key attributes of Omnichannel Customer Services workstream and configure them in Dynamics 365 Commerce e-commerce site builder to set up the chart module on your website.
That concludes the demo. I'm going to hand over to Praveen to talk about B2B customer or partner catalog in e-commerce.
Thank you, Meenu. Let's talk about B2B customer catalogs. With this upcoming release, we have added support for B2B partner catalogs in our e-commerce channel. With this functionality, we are now able to associate one or more catalogs with customer hierarchies associated with the B2B organizations, as well as have the ability to set a default catalog when more than one catalog is associated. Once the setup is done, now the buyers, when they log on to the B2B site, will be able to browse and discover products in the catalogs assigned to them, as well as switch between their assigned catalogs. Let's see a short demo. This is the customer hierarchy screen associated with the B2B partner organization. You can notice we have introduced a tab to associate one-to-many catalogs. Here we have added a summer catalog and a winter catalog to this particular partner organization. Now, as a signed-in buyer on the B2B website, you will be able to navigate and look at the catalogs assigned to you. Here in this case, you can see the summer catalog and the winter catalog that we have assigned, and the summer catalog is marked as active. You can see on the navigation menu that the menu for the summer catalog is active, and you'll be able to browse and discover products in that catalog. If I switch the catalog to the winter catalog, you will notice the navigation menu has updated, and now you are able to browse and discover products within the winter catalog. Nice. So you have seen how we have extended the existing rich catalog functionality that we already have in the product to the B2B e-commerce website channel. Now, let's talk about sales agreement support for the B2B e-commerce channel. So with this upcoming release, we have also added the ability to create contract-based product pricing for B2B customers. We do this through the use of sales agreements. Now, a buyer on the B2B website, the contract-based pricing is automatically applied to their entire product journey, all the way from product discovery, purchase, and checkout. Now, let's see a short demo about this.
This video provides an overview of some of the B2B specific selling capabilities. Similar to a consumer buying on a B2C site, the buyers from the B2B side can also be motivated to make purchasing decisions based on discounted pricing and promotions. However, apart from the standard pricing and discounting capabilities, there is a need to support contract pricing for B2B. Contract pricing is an agreement between the two organizations where the buying organization commits for purchasing certain amount or quantity of items within a time period in exchange of reduced pricing. So Dynamics 365 Commerce supports creation of such contracts and then honors such contracts across all the channels. As you can see in this screen, we have created a contract, and this is achieved by creating sales agreement. So if we navigate to see the details of this agreement, we would see that this agreement is created for two items, 62100 and 62101. And we have defined the price and the quantity that the buyer needs to purchase within a duration, and then they would get this discounted price. So let's navigate to the website to see how this looks. I am logged in as Adriana on the B2B website. And now let's search for the same item for which we have a contract 62100. So the regular price for this item was 75, but because we have a contract pricing, it shows us that the contract price and terms may apply, and it shows us some details of the contract pricing, aka the sales agreement. So let's choose a size and some color and add to the back. And you would see that the contract pricing is applied. It also shows here that the contract pricing is applied. So this can be assuring to the buyer that the correct price has been applied for their transaction.
That's the end of the demo. Now over to you, Febin.
Thank you, Praveen. Hello, everyone. In this coming session, we will talk about some of the new features for managing high volume customer data. First, we will talk about cloud-powered customer search. Then we will cover about editing customers asynchronously. So let's see what is in cloud-powered customer search. Okay. Cloud-powered customer search is a new capability released as part of 10.18 release as a preview feature. This feature promises better performance with better search results when customer details are searched from a POS device. As you can see, some of our tests show a huge improvement in latency side when you are managing huge customer volume, especially when the search is enabled for search on all stores or when you do a remote customer search. Cloud-powered customer search is an infrastructural change without any UI changes. That means there is no extra training required to enable this feature. How it works? As a first part, the CDX job will push the customer data to Azure Cognitive Service using CDX jobs. This data is indexed for Azure searching. When you do search, the results are now retrieved from Azure Search Index instead of running a SQL search query in Commerce headquarters. Customer search uses Azure Cognitive Service with help of advanced machine learning techniques to retrieve better search results. Now, how to enable cloud-powered customer search in your environment? First, you can enable the cloud-powered customer search feature in feature management. Then you can initialize the commerce scheduler. As you can see in the screen, a new scheduler job called 1010 customer search is appeared. Running this job publishes the data to Azure Search Service. When the publishing of the search index is completed, the status of this job is set to applied. Just to remember, when you do an initial push, this may take several hours because we are sending all customer set to indexing. In this period, POS will use SQL-based customer searching just to avoid any kind of interruptions. In this period, once this job is applied, you can run global configuration job to synchronize the feature management changes with channel databases. Once this is done, you can see the post search is enabled, customer search is enabled in POS. You need to schedule the customer search job, the 1010 underscore customer search job in a regular intervals to synchronize the incremental changes with Azure search service. If you are using customer creation or editing in asynchronous mode, first you need to synchronize the data with headquarters. Then you need to run 1010 customer search job to make these customer available in searchable in POS. That's all about cloud-powered customer search. Now we can see what is new with async customer management. Editing the customer asynchronously is a new feature released as part of Wave 2. Now this brings parity between asynchronous customer management and synchronous customer management. There were many other features released previously as part of earlier versions. There was a performance improvement feature released to split the customer entity into smaller units, which will result in better performance for the CDX jobs. Then there is a feature for enabling enhanced customer creation where title, affiliation, and other fields are defaulted from default customer account when you create customer asynchronously. Another feature was on creating the customer address asynchronously, which was to support e-commerce address creation. Now with this new feature, you can turn on async customer creation and editing in store operations and e-commerce. This will eventually remove the dependency from CDX real-time calls, which will result in better performance, and also it releases a workload from commerce headquarters. The real-time customer creation and editing were bottlenecks when there are backend integrations enabled. For example, dual write. When dual write is enabled, whenever POS user create a customer or edit a customer, or e-com user try to sign up, a synchronized call is triggered to headquarters, and a dual write operation is initiated. Post user or e-commerce users need to wait till we complete the dual write operation to receive an acknowledgement. Disconnecting the customer management from headquarters, you can improve the performance of post devices and get a better experience for POS users. This is a promising step towards a synchronous way of handling the post devices. Now last, when you switch on async customer mode, you must run CDX jobs to get customer data synchronized to headquarters. Then you need to run synchronize customers and channel request batch job to get this data applied to customer tables. That's all about customer management. Now we will see the offline improvements. POS offline capability allows POS users to continue with the store operation even if there is a network outage. POS will be connected to a locally hosted database when it operates in offline. There were many features already released as part of previous versions to make the offline process robust and to have a seamless experience for POS users. Advanced offline feature comes with ability to switching the POS to offline before POS user signing. So if there is outage, they can just switch to switch the POS to offline. Then offline status dashboard in commerce headquarters provide overall visibility of all store devices, offline status, and DB size details. Performance-based offline switching feature will enable seamless offline switching when there is a performance degradation detected. Now we will see new feature on DB size compression. Post offline DB compression is a new feature released as part of 10.29. In many cases, customers choose to use SQL Express to host offline databases. The limitation of SQL Express, it comes with a capacity of maximum allowed size of 10 GB. So you can enable this feature to automatically compress the large indexes in offline databases, which will eventually bring down the database size. There were customers running this job manually earlier. Now it is part of the product. How it works? There is a backend job executed from POS to compress the large indexes. This is designed to execute outside the channel store hours. Modern POS or Store Commerce app will query the offline databases for non-compressed, non-clustered indexes. Then it look for the larger indexes larger than 100 MB or larger than 1% of DB size. If any indexes are found, compression will start from the largest index in the list. After 10 minutes, it will pick the next index from the list, and the cycle continues. If there are no indexes system, it will pause. The job will pause for 30 minutes before kicking it again. If the store hours are not configured, index compression will occur all times. You can enable the index compression just by enabling post offline database compression feature from the feature management. Run the global configuration job to synchronize this change with channel databases. There is no additional configuration required for this feature. Now we can see the improvements released for logon functionality. Our analysis on post-logon related incidents shows that a big percentage of these issues were caused by incorrect HQ configuration or missing data in channel side. For example, the logon account is not configured with the store address book, or the employee information is not synchronized with channel database. So this new feature tries to solve the problem in this area. Let's see the improvements. Self-serve capabilities on post-logon. This new feature aimed to provide some self-service diagnostic capabilities in post application and also in commerce headquarters. Now, the store managers and employees can quickly identify the issues and fix the root causes of post-logon failures. There are two components released as part of this feature, one for headquarters and another for POS. For the store managers or the IT team members who are managing the employee creation and configuration, now we'll have a new test logon function in commerce headquarters. This is to simulate post logon, and it provides a detailed error message, so it will help them to fix the data issues or configuration issues before they ask the employee to try from POS. Meantime, store employees can see a meaningful actionable error message on post screen whenever there is a logon failure. So if you want to experience the new behavior, you need to upgrade your POS to the latest version. The diagnosis capability is applicable to cloud POS, modern POS, and store commerce apps. No feature flag is required for this feature to enable. After upgrading to 10 or 30 latest version, customers will automatically see the refined error messages in POS and also a new function in workers form in commerce headquarters. With this, I will hand over to Jorge to talk about credit card storage management improvements.
Thank you, Febin. Hello, everyone. In preparation for the upcoming holiday season, which is traditionally an important busy time for retailers, we have compiled 3 relevant and related features to help you proactively manage and minimize database maintenance activities, and also to avoid any database size overages in your commerce environment. These are the features: the archive credit card transaction data batch job, the compressed payment tokens feature, and the store capacity report, which is executed since the Power Platform Admin Center. Let's go deep on those. In commerce environments, payments and credit card authorization transactions, specifically all the payment and authorization tokens, usually occupy a large percentage of the Dynamics database. Those large SML blob files that over the time can grow and take up a significant amount of space in the database, but over the time also the usefulness of that data decreases dramatically after the business refund policy for a transaction expires. So these may demand time-consuming activities to handle and clean up it if we don't manage it accordingly using the tools provided. The archive credit card transaction data batch job was released since versions 10.17. It allows you to clean up and archive the authorization data that is stored in the retail transaction payment trans table. This diagram explains the process starting in the yellow box, since headquarters, which is the batch job is scheduled, and you only must define 2 parameters to execute it. The first one is the minimum transaction age, which is the number of dates of information to retain according to the refund policy defined. By default, 91 days is prompt, but you can change it. The second parameter option to define is to delete the data without archiving. This option is selected. If this option is selected, the process will clean up the credit card fields and do not perform any archiving, as you can see on the upper green part of the diagram in the yes path, which the process goes to the cleanup credit card fields green box, put to null the values of those fields, and freeing up the size of the SQL database. The fields which values are removed are the payment authorization, the payment capture token, the payment card token, and the SIC cap data fields. All those fields belong to the retail transaction payment trans table. If you plan to use the archiving scenario, the process will go on the no path in the diagram, which will use the document management functionality as the archiver, which stores the SML data for the age credit card authorizations into a zip file and then uploaded it into your Azure Blob storage. Then it deletes and frees up the data from the database, as we mentioned before, but saving the metadata related to the archiving in the docu value and docu ref tables. Out of the box, archive cannot be restored programmatically, so please make sure you define the number of days to archive depending on the company refund policy. Transactions that are subject to linked refunds shouldn't be archived. If a transaction is returned after the maintaining days, the customer will have to be refunded via a standalone refund to either a credit card or some other payment methods, such as a credit memo or a gift card. It's important to mention that the archiving process has a dependency on the document management functionality. If this is not set up in the environment, the archival job can't successfully be run. Finally, for environments with version 10.26 or newer, the batch job uses multiple task threads, which offers high performance. The recommendation is to schedule this batch job in a weekly cadence, which will help you maintain the database storage efficiently. For archive data, eventually, you'll have to clean up your Azure Blob storage, so purge it unless you have a compelling reason to keep the tokens. Let's move on the next feature. The compressed payment tokens feature will allow the system to use compression on stored payment property tokens. This feature uses compression to efficiently store payment property tokens, maintaining a lower footprint on underlying storage tables. It allows the payment SDK to compress the payment token before inserting the token into the SQL table. The token is uncompressed when reading from the table. Decompression and uncompression is an in-memory operation that will not cause any observable performance degradation. Since a payment token is a string, the data compression ratio is around 80%. Hence, the SQL disk space consumed by the tokens will be greatly reduced. The retail tables that take advantage of this feature are the retail transaction payment trans, the credit card out trans in HQ, and the retail transaction payment trans in the CSU. To enable the compressed payment tokens feature, you can go in headquarters, feature management workspace, and search for the compressed payment tokens feature and enable it. Please note that to use this feature, your system must be running Commerce version 1025 or later, and point of sales version 935 or later. Let's move on the next topic. Storage capacity report. Storage management will become a popular topic soon, and you have seen and will see a lot more archival and cleanup processes on the roadmap. For that reason, admins can now see a report that provides a tenant-level view that shows how much finance and operation storage is used in your organization, compared with how much is license entitles it to. This report is in preview, and you may use it to manage your storage efficiently. If the storage consumption goes over the entitled limit, we encourage you to manage the excess consumption by deleting unused data or buy more capacity. Have in mind that there is not functional or performance impact to your service if your storage consumption exceeds your entitlement. For more information related with Dynamics capacity add-ons, please check our Dynamics 365 license guide. Now, let me hand over back to Meenu, who is going to talk about the Store Commerce app for Android.
Thank you, Jorge. Now let's just talk about the new feature, which just became GA as mentioned, called Store Commerce app for Android. So the Store Commerce apps for Windows, Android, and iOS are the next generation of POS application for Dynamics 365 Commerce. The current modern POS application and the retail hybrid apps for mobile will be deprecated in October 2023. So we recommend you guys to use a Store Commerce app or a Cloud POS for all your new POS deployments. The Store Commerce mobile apps are the shell applications that render CPOS directly from the Commerce Scale unit and connect to a headless Commerce and Commerce headquarters via CSU. A shell application model enables the Store Commerce app to support a dedicated hardware station for direct integration with the payment terminal, printer, cash drawer, and other peripherals. You don't have to set up a shared hardware station to use hardware devices. So the benefit of releasing this is you can simply go to your Store Commerce app and download it from the Google itself. So it's a quicker one, and it has an integrated hardware support connected to it. As mentioned, it's going to use a Cloud POS in the background like we do for rest of the shell apps. And here is a link provided for the reference if you want to learn more about it. Now look at different references. Most of these references are the topics which we covered during a tech talk. Like you would, if you want more information on it, we have put those links right there. You can click it and go and read more about it. The one thing that we didn't mention was that I want to stress about is improve pricing competition performance by using a flattened discount table. That's a new feature which released little while, but it will be helpful for your holiday season. As mentioned, that we're gonna be prepping you guys for a holiday readiness. So that's one of the feature we are suggesting you guys to test it out in your UAT environment or sandbox environment before you do that in production, but it's gonna help you with the performance. With that being said, that concludes our demo and tech talk. Now it's time for some Q&A. So if somebody has a Q&A, this is the right time to put in the chat. We'll be able to answer you guys. So I do see a question. I think, Jorge, this is for you. Why don't I see which table are causing the overage?
Thanks, Meenu. Yeah. Now details at the table level aren't available in the initial launch of this report, but table analytics will be available in a future release. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think there's another one. Do you want to add something, Jorge?
Please.
Okay. So the next one is, what happens if my consumption is over the entitled limit?
Okay. Yeah. The runtime experience is unaffected. Yeah, that's very important to know it. However, we strongly recommend that you review your data consumption and delete all data that you don't need to maintain, right? Reach out to your account team to purchase more capacity if needed. But yeah, we have released several features for cleanup and archive, database records. So we encourage you to take advantage of those features too.
Okay. Another question which we see is, how do we enable storage report in PPAC?
Jorge, there is another question for you. How to enable storage reporting PPAC?
Okay, it is already enabled, but you have to go into your the Power Platform Admin Center, and you can go there in the resources and capacity option, and you'll see the slides or the forms or the pages that we showed, where the capacity page and the summary page where you can see those consumptions.
Okay. I don't see any other questions in Q&A. So that concludes. I'm going to thank you all the audience for attending, and I'm going to hand over to Cora for a wrap up.
Thank you so much. I have posted a link to a short survey in the Q&A panel. We'd like your feedback on today's session and to hear what you'd like to see in future events. Thank you so much for your participation. As a reminder, the recording of today's session will be available on the Tech Talks Community Dynamics page within the coming weeks. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenters and audience for joining us today. Goodbye.